Our winter concert series, Winter Concerts at the Crane, continues on Sunday, March 24th at 3 o'clock with an awesome performance by Albino Mbie, who has joined me today, and I'm just so glad to have a conversation and learn a little bit about the music. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting and for giving us this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Oh, it's our pleasure. You've been here once before, but it's been a little bit of time since you played here. And last time you were here, you played outside. So you're bringing it in and changing it up, I think, a little bit too.
Yes, I'm thinking to bring, I'll be bringing a trio and possibly a quartet, because my keyboard player lives nearby.
Oh, lucky
and
us.
He will be very angry to hear that we played near in his neighborhood and we didn't have him on board.
We certainly don't want to offend him, so please,
Yes.
by all means, bring him over.
Of course.
That's great. So for folks who missed it the first time, you play music that is both inspired from where you grew up in Mozambique, I believe, but also it brings in other flavors. How do you like to talk about your music?
Yes, I feel like the core of my music, it's Mozambican. But of course, I feel like I am citizen of the world now, after coming to the US and studying, having to open up my mind to different horizons, I mean. So on varieties of music, I feel my music, it's African music with jazz influence and could be described as Afro-pop and Afro-jazz.
I know a lot of folks, when they think of Afro-pop, they think of people like Fela Kuti, and they think of so much of the West African music. Or even if they don't know African music and they know rock and roll or the blues, which obviously have roots in African music, but so much of that is West African music, and Mozambique is on the eastern coast.
Yes.
What are the big differences between like the music that and the styles that people are used to hearing from Western Africa and what you know from Eastern African and Mozambique?
So this is a good question, and I'm thinking about it right now, and it's a really good one. So I feel like the West Africa has very kind of standardized type of music that, when you talk about West Africa, everybody has an idea of, kalimba sound and other chordophone instruments that are very much interpreting to the conventional instruments like keyboards and the melismatic singing, that they have in West Africa, which is a little bit different from East Africa. We have other rhythms that so many people are not aware of them, and I'll be exploring mostly Marabenta, which is the most popular rhythm from the south of Mozambique, and most of the music that I'll be playing.
Is it in a 4 count, or what's the, we don't have to get too deep into the music, but I'm curious, is it still like 4 beats per measure, as so much of Western ears kind of are accustomed to hearing, or does it play with different time counts?
It's interesting because sometimes it's in 4/4 for better interpretation, but it's overlapping. Could be 4/3.
Okay.
So will be always you will think it's 4, but there's 12/8 inside as well. There's a lot of subdivisions, but 4/4 it's going to be there, and 3/4 it's going to be there. I think that's the main of the East Africa. I feel like 3/4 and 4/4 are big ones.
So for folks who don't talk about music that way normally, I think that will still feels more familiar, I think, to some folks. If you start going into 5s and 7s, some
odd meters.
People who when we're not used to hearing that, it takes a little bit of getting used to.
Yes.
There's so many, playing guitar is, it's huge around the world. There's been so many, I think, incredible African guitarists. But they're very different styles. I think of Hassan Hakmoun or Ali Farka Touré, or I don't know. We could drop names all day. But who are your main influences when you think of guitar? Do you think of African influences? Are you more inspired by Wes Montgomery or Jimi Hendrix, or who do you like to? When I know you have your own voice, and I'm not trying to say you are like anyone else, but I'm sure you have influences.
Of course. I do have lots of influences from even younger guitarists from Mozambique, that because I'm very much interested in the Mozambican Marabenta rhythm, as I was saying, and the way the guitar is being explored there. the way they play with triplets. So I feel I'm looking at the guitar as a world, you know, like as the universe, and I take what I feel it would work for what I'm doing. So when I listen to Wurs, I like the way he developed his idea, his sound, and Jimi Hendrix, especially his sound, is just unbelievable, really very strong. So for me, I feel they're part of this universe where each one is just contributing in a different perspective to the same goodness of the music and the guitar. So I feel that I'm incorporating all of them. I love, you know, right now I enjoy listening to rock guitars because I feel they reach another level of virtuosity that I feel would be good to incorporate to what I'm doing. So and then suddenly I listen to bluegrass. I'm like, oh wow, that's beautiful how they're playing open strings, and let me bring that to some of my roots. So it feels like over time will always be changing. I'll be into this maybe because there's no snow, and maybe over the snow I'll be going to some other different influences, but I tend to incorporate most of them.
That's very reasonable. There's so much to hear. And
yes.
So are there certain things that you're inspired by? Are there themes to your music? I know that sometimes, you know, love is a central theme to so much of what we do. Other people find great inspiration in, you know, kind of landscapes, and talking. Other people, you know, like to play tribute to the ocean. Do you have specific, or maybe in different songs, you could tell us a little bit about some of your songs, and what inspired them?
So at the beginning, you know, coming from Mozambique, I'm coming from very unlikely area to end up in the US, you know, looking at the resources, not having enough access to information, internet, and all the resources that could have guided me to get here. I never had it didn't come to my mind that one day I would be here and, you know, having this interview, playing music, you know, just all this environment. So I feel the fact that I left home suddenly, for me, the longing about home, it's been the biggest theme at the beginning, and it still is, because I feel maybe I haven't said enough about it.
Yeah.
So
do you still have a lot of family in Mozambique?
Yeah, I do. I do have 3 brothers, my mom, my dad.
That's hard.
So, it's an amazing opportunity to be here.
Absolutely.
But however, you know, having to create that disconnection, and as the time is passing by, as I'm learning about life, about love, about other things, and I want to, I'm the firstborn, I still feel like I should always look back to my brothers and sister, like, hey, how are things going and all that? Are you guys having fun? How's your life journey and all that? So, and through the music, I feel like I'm transmitting all that. That's, you know, when I talk, I'm very much talking about that connection, the love I have for them, and what I think, in my perspective, maybe will be good for them to check out, and maybe will inspire them for the voice that they want to create in their lives. And then I look to Mozambique, you know, current political situation, and I look as well to how the view of men and women in the society, because, you know, it always changes, and the things, the rights that we have here in the US comparing to what existed in Mozambique, you know. So it makes me very much think about here and back home, and what I wish I could influence back home from what I've been learning.
And I'm sure there must be things that you'd like to influence here as well.
Yes, for sure.
Well, that certainly sounds like something that everyone can relate to. Many of us know people. I have family far away, not quite as far as Mozambique, but it is hard to miss people, and I'm sure that resonates incredibly.
Yeah, it
So,
does.
yeah, and
It
that's
does,
very
thank
common
you.
experiences, even though we can be from all parts of the globe.
Yes.
That there's something about the way we care for each other and our family that is universal.
That's universal, yeah. Just love at the end, as you said.
That's right. Well, I know next you're going to play us a little music, so it's a pleasure talking to you, and I'm sure we could speak for hours, because when we start talking about love and what matters to us, that's where the heart goes. But it also goes into the music. So
Yes, it will be an honor to play at least one or two songs, and I just want to mention that I will be playing with Ebinho Cardoso, amazing bass player from Brazil.
yes, let's talk about the people. I'm glad you brought that up. So your bass player's from Brazil. What's his name again?
Ebinho
Abinho
Cardoso,
Cardoso.
amazing musician,
Wow.
bass player and singer.
Okay.
And Matt Williams from Boston, amazing drummer.
All right.
And
then
now
the keyboard,
Yuri,
isn't he?
the keyboard, he's a neighbor.
Okay.
We can whisper from here, he will hear
Excellent.
it coming. Yuri Nedoma from Czech Republic.
Okay.
And then myself from Mozambique, Albino Mia.
What a treat. I cannot wait.
Thank you. We cannot wait as well. It's going to be great to share and celebrate love.
So please join us on Sunday, March 24th for winter concerts at the Crane, where we'll be celebrating love and the music from Mozambique and around the world with guitarist Albino Mbeye and his band. I look forward to seeing you there.
I was born in between rivers of Zambezi and Nile, breathing the heat from Sahara, staring at the sculptures of snow on Kilimanjaro, wishing I could run at the speed of the lions. Mama Africa, Mama, Mama Africa, you have traveled very far. I will always remember you. Mama, Mama Africa, you have traveled very far. I will always remember you. I feel lucky to have grown in this paradise, whereby waking up in your sunrise, it's a reason to smile. Birds singing the ancient songs, all the memories are calling back your soul. Mama Africa, Mama, Mama Africa, you have traveled very far. I will always remember you. It's our obligation to repay our mothers fighting for freedom. Come, let's paint our face with new colors. Come, let's make a dress from flowers. Come, let's build a new necklace from a golden smiles. Mama, Mama Africa, you have traveled Africa. Ungasakani ni mafu manakutsokota masu. 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 Machikutsokota masu. Kaunamba manakuona. Machikutsokota masu. Kaunamba manakuona. Unangisa kuchani ausiwoni. Unangisa kuchani ausiwoni. Hey 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 yo. Akuhisa shitete nishakutalani washakashaka shikulisiwa ikukala shichavu nimisamalei ungasakani ni mafu manakutsokota masu. Ey 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 ungasakani ni mafu manakutsokota masu. Unangisa kuchani ausiwoni. Unangisa kuchani ausiwoni. Hey hey hey. Unangisa kuchani ausiwoni.